Welcome to this presentation on growth mindset. The purpose of this session is to share with you some information about how we can support our children to work towards having a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. Most of the ideas in this presentation comes from a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. By the end of the session, I hope that you have a better understanding of the importance of supporting our children to have a growth mindset. The concept of mindsets have been around for a while. The belief is that people either have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. In essence, those with a growth mindset believe that they can learn and grow. They love challenges and they see mistakes as an opportunity to grow. On the other hand, those with a fixed mindset believe that their potential is fixed. They avoid challenges because they believe that they can't do it. They give up quickly because in their mind they have already decided that they simply can't learn or improve. Mindsets over time. Years ago, people believed that those students who perform well at school were born smart. The belief was that some children simply had what it takes to succeed while others did not. We know now that this is simply not true. Evidence shows that children who do well at school believe in themselves. They enjoy challenges and they don't give up. In other words, they have a growth mindset and a gritty personality. It is true that some children appear to be born with a growth mindset, while others have to work towards developing one. The good news is that we can all develop a growth mindset, and the messages that we hear from those around us can help us to do just that. Nature versus nurture. The fact that some students do appear to be born with a growth mindset might leave us to think that it is nature who decides who does well. The truth is that nature does indeed play a role, and some children are more inclined to have a growth mindset. However, Angela Duckworth in her book Grit explains that grit, perseverance, determination, and hard work will always outperform natural talent. Even if we are not born with it, we can develop it and overtake those that seem to be born with it. If parents want to give their children a gift, the best thing they can do is to teach their children to love challenges, be intrigued by mistakes, enjoy effort, and keep on learning. That way, their children don't have to be slaves to praise. They will have a lifelong way to build and repair their own confidence. Fixed mindset conversations. What we say to our children on a daily basis shape who they are, and it forces them towards a particular mindset, fixed or growth. Comments like, "Wow, you are so smart," actually sends the wrong message. Children who believe they are smart will do whatever they need to do to stay smart. This usually means avoiding challenging tasks because they do not want to look like they are not smart. Avoiding challenges is not good for growth. We want our students to love challenges and accept them with open arms. Without struggle, there is simply no progress. Comments like, "You are just not a maths person," or "It's okay, I struggled with maths too. We are just not maths people," clearly puts limitations on a student's potential and places them firmly in a fixed mindset. Also, "You did that so quickly. I'm so impressed." This comment sends the message that speed is to be valued, while effort and deep thinking is to be avoided. Avoid any comment that praises ability or giftedness only, as these may result in a fixed mindset. What might happen if we receive the wrong messages? Being told that you are gifted may well be something that we would all like to hear. While it may be true that some children are gifted or appear to be gifted, being labeled as gifted can have a negative effect. Let's hear from some students who were told that they were gifted at a young age.
Hi, I'm Alan. Hi, Alan. Tell me a bit about your experience of being labelled as smart or gifted.
Yeah, I was labeled as gifted in elementary school, actually. I was tested in kindergarten, and some force deemed that I was worthy of some special attention.
We took a weird test that was nothing like I'd ever done before, and then after that, some of the kids that took the test were pulled out of class to go to a special class. I grew up in Senegal, in West Africa, and I was labeled as gifted because from a grade standpoint, I was always in the top 5%.
At first, it made me feel very validated. It made me feel like I was special.
Being gifted to me meant that it just was something that was in me already. It was not something I could work at, but it was something that came from within me and had been identified by this test when I was 7. My expectations for myself was that I was supposed to always know everything and always be the top of everything, because gifted people are supposed to be invincible.
As someone who was a top student, who was smart, I needed to be doing everything all the time, so there was no room for mistakes.
I usually made it seem like I wasn't struggling, which resulted in me struggling more because I wouldn't ask for help.
I wasn't supposed to ask questions because I was already supposed to know how to do everything. And people would come to me, but I couldn't go to anyone else if I needed help.
I would actively try to show people I wasn't spending much time doing work to make it seem like it was effortless for me.
Well, the first time I really struggled with something was memorizing my times tables. And that made me feel terrible. And my mom wouldn't talk to the teacher, and everyone was freaking out that I couldn't do something. And struggling meant that maybe it was running out. Maybe I was getting towards the end of that thing that was within me and I couldn't go any further. So it was really scary.
When I had to actually learn to do something or try hard in something, I would just turn away from it completely.
It's like I don't want people to find out that I'm not what they thought I was.
As soon as I slipped up, as soon as I made a small mistake, the kind of feeling that came around was that I wasn't gifted. I am not a gifted individual when it comes to mathematics.
I questioned very much if I was meant to study engineering because I wasn't the best person in my math or chemistry classes.
Being labeled as gifted based on my grades made grades the most valuable assets I had. And when they were not up to par, I started really doubting who I was and questioning myself. And my idea of self was really deflated.
Being one of the few Latina students in the school, I felt this additional pressure because I was there to represent my people. I had to make this choice of being in a space where I was this gifted person, but then I couldn't be myself and be my full self.
Perseverance, hard work, and determination. Grit. The importance and value of having grit cannot be overstated. Learning and growing is not always easy and requires a lot of effort. Effort is one of those things that gives meaning to life. Effort means you care about something, that something is important to you and you are willing to work for it. Growth mindset conversations. What do we need to say to our children to develop a growth mindset? Well, praise effort, hard work, determination, and resilience. Say things like, wow, you must have put a lot of effort into your learning. It looks amazing. See what can happen when we try our best and really work hard? Well done. I am so proud of the effort that you put in. Thank you for persevering with your learning. I'm really proud that you did not give up. Keep going. I believe in you. Our children must realize that success is connected to hard work and self-belief, not perceived ability. The power of mistakes and the importance of failure. Joe Bowler, a professor of mathematics at Stanford University, explained the importance of making mistakes, while Will Smith reminds us of the power and the value of failing. Let's learn some more from these two incredibly successful people.
One of the most exciting things I've learned in recent years that shocks most people I meet is this. When you make a mistake in math, your brain grows. Synapses fire in your brain. In fact, your brain grows when you make a mistake, but when you get work right, no brain growth happens.
When you make a mistake, you don't need to get the right answer. You just need to struggle and think about the mistake for synapses to fire.
That is because struggle and hard thinking are times when your brain grows the most.
This is why it's important in math class to work on hard problems that encourage you to struggle and even make mistakes, as these are the most important times for your brain.
Thomas Edison is a famous inventor. Over 100 years ago, he invented the light bulb, as well as many other important things. He allowed people to have light when it was dark, when previously they only had been able to use candles.
You may think he was just smart and probably didn't have to work hard, but that isn't true. In school, his teachers told him that he was too stupid to learn anything. Maybe that encouraged him more.
But it wasn't easy inventing a light bulb. He made 1,000 mistakes, but he didn't give up. He kept trying. When a reporter asked him how it felt to fail 1,000 times, he said he wasn't failing, he was taking steps. And he created something amazing. He is well known for saying this.
Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration.
I love this one. Fail early, fail often, fail forward. It's always a little bit frustrating to me when people have a negative relationship with failure. Failure is a massive part of being able to be successful. You have to get comfortable with failure. You have to actually seek failure. Failure is where all of the lessons are. When you go to the gym and you work out, you're actually seeking failure. You want to take your muscles to the point where you get to failure, because that's where the adaptation is. That's where growth is. Successful people fail a lot. They fail a whole lot more than they succeed, but they extract the lessons from the failure and they use that, the energy, and they use the wisdom to come around to the next phase of success. You gotta take a shot. You have to live at the edge of your capabilities. You gotta live where you're almost certain you're gonna fail. That's the reason for practice. Practice is controlled failure. You're getting to your limit, getting to your limit, getting to your limit. You can't lift that, you can't do that, until you get to the point that all of a sudden your body makes the adjustment and then you can do it. Failure actually helps you to recognize the areas where you need to evolve.
I think it's important to address self-talk, as this is very much connected to our mindset. The internal conversations we have with ourselves influence how we perceive ourselves. Negative self-talk is extremely damaging and must be avoided. Positive self-talk and self-belief is the difference between success and failure. The messages we send to our children can influence their mindset, which in turn will influence their self-talk and will influence who they become as learners and as adults. Carol Dweck reminded us that a growth mindset is not a declaration, it is a journey. No one is in a constant state of a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. In fact, no one can truly claim that they have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. We are somewhere in between. We are either working towards having a growth mindset or we are going towards a fixed mindset. It is important that we acknowledge that and we identify when we find ourselves in a fixed mindset so we can put things in place to move towards a growth mindset. And the messages we send our children from a young age can empower them to identify when they are moving towards a fixed mindset and how to change course and move towards having a growth mindset. Thank you so much for engaging in this session. Please complete the Microsoft form that was shared with the link to this presentation. There's a section on the form where you can ask questions and ask for any additional information that you think might be helpful. I would also like to recommend the following 2 books that will help you understand the power of mindsets and the value of grit. The 2 books are the 2 images at the bottom of the screen. Thank you again for your time, and I hope you found this session useful.